I'd like to welcome zooming in on the radio. We have Jaclynn Rodriguez, who is the executive director from the Friends of Norris Cotton Cancer Center, here to talk about the Prouty. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing this morning?
Doing awesome. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Thrilled to be here.
Now, I'm a little late, and obviously I was having Zoom issues. It's the new world.
It's all good.
There's a new Zoom.
World we're in.
New Zoom update. Who knew? So, anyway, thank you for coming on. This is the first time I've had an opportunity to interview you as the executive director. New this year.
Yes, yeah. I joined the team at the end of August and thrilled to be here. It's an exciting time, the 40th year for the Prouty. And the community is really rallying together for the Prouty, even during this uncertain time.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time to come into a role for such a large community event when, we can't have large community events just yet, but we're getting there. Mm-hmm. And there's hope and excitement. And, we're thrilled that this year's Prouty, we're able to have, a hybrid event. And so it's a stepping stone for a return to normalcy coming out of COVID. It's that light at the end of the tunnel, bringing our community together in different ways this year, but really all in an effort to celebrate our 40th annual Prouty.
So last year, things went virtual, as everything else did. This year, you're doing more of a hybrid, so still some virtual, but also some in-person.
Correct. Yeah. So we have two ways to, well, more than two, but two key areas to Prouty this year. So the virtual Prouty is happening for 40 days for the 40th. So it started in June 1st through July 10th, 40 days. And it's Prouty your way. So we have folks who are going to be kayaking, rowing, hiking, surfing, you name it. And, we're encouraging everyone to send in their photos, tell us how they're Proutying. And it's been incredible to see how creative folks have gotten this year for their virtual Prouties. In terms of in-person participation, we're so excited that we really were able to put together some in-person components. So we have golf, which will take place on Friday, July 9th at Eastman Golf Links in Grantham. Okay. We have a 20-mile bike ride that will take place out of Hanover on Saturday, July 10th, which is typical Prouty Day. Okay. And then we have a 5K residential walk happening on Sunday, July 11th. And we have spots available, and, it all is all based on health and safety guidelines. Safety is number one. And so we'll have staggered starts and spacing folks out. So we can't have the big party this year at Richmond Middle School, but we really focused on what we can do. And, we have ways for folks to participate. We'll have cheering stations and music along the route, but again, spaced out, socially distant, and really just in an effort to keep crowds and numbers down. That's really the key piece. Yes, but we're excited about it.
So that's kind of my question here. On this hybrid model, is there a limit to how many people can get involved for the day of events, or do you just have the ability to stagger so it can go as much as possible?
So a little bit of both. There is a cap. We're not there yet. So we are able to still have more folks register, and I encourage everyone to register online at theprouty.org. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have spots available, but there is a cap. But because of how long the day is and how we can space folks out in smaller groups, we're really in a good place to accommodate lots of folks, but not have that large mass gathering.
Okay. Now, with the virtual Prouty Your Way 40 days, that has been happening. You said that it's been really cool to see what people have done. What have been some of your more fun things that you've seen?
So we had an incredible group of high school students take to the Connecticut River right at the beginning of our virtual Prouty. We had over 45 students rowing the Connecticut River. We've seen century bike rides all through the White Mountains. We have riders who are actually riding the original route of the nurses. So I'm not sure if you know, but the Prouty got started 40 years ago by 4 nurses who were just inspired by their patient, Audrey Prouty. And they took to the White Mountains. It's quite a route, quite a challenging course. And we have had quite a few folks who have been riding that as well this year, and really just getting creative with how they want to Prouty. We have, individuals who are walking a certain amount of miles every single day. Mm-hmm. families that are hiking 40 hikes over the summer, you name it. And our community is getting creative this year.
Now, I know that you're new to the role, but obviously I'm assuming that you've heard lots of the history and how the fundraising has gone. How does fundraising look this year compared to years past?
It's an interesting year, but we are excited. So we just passed the $3.1 million mark on Friday. And our goal this year is $4 million for the 40th. Now that will be a record-breaking achievement. If and when we reach that point, we have 3 weeks to go. It's a really exciting time. I think we can do it. And I know our community is really passionate about helping us reach and achieve that goal this year. So we're optimistic. And the response from the community, that's what makes the Prouty what it is just the love from the community and the passion for the Cancer Center and the work that's being done there. It's been inspirational to say the least.
Sure.
But we're hopeful that we are going to reach $4 million this year.
That'd be incredible. So how is the money used? And I know that there's so many different types of cancer, and breast cancer gets a lot of press and attention, but there's other types, prostate cancer and testicular cancer and brain cancer and just so many other aspects. So how is the money that is raised with the Prouty actually divvied out throughout the hospital or throughout the Friends of Norris Cotton Cancer Center?
Great question. So all of the funds raised support Dartmouth and Dartmouth-Hitchcock's Norris Cotton Cancer Center. And they really fund two key areas. So one area is research, groundbreaking research. And it's not disease specific. So it's not specific to breast cancer, colon cancer. It has reached many forms of cancer. And how it works is investigators at the Cancer Center apply for seed funding from Prouty pilot grants. So when there's a new novel idea that just needs some funding to get started, that's where the Prouty helps. The Prouty gives that funding to get that idea off the ground. And then those researchers use those funds and then go on to apply for larger grants from the NIH, the DOD, to further their research. And we've done an analysis, and for every $1 that the Prouty invests in that research, those researchers go on to leverage an additional $7. So $1 to the Prouty turns into $7 to further cancer research.
Wow.
So it's something we're really excited about, but it really helps, with innovation. And we have some of the brightest minds right here in our community working to tackle all of the challenges that encompass cancer and cancer diagnoses, prevention, treatments, and therapies, and survivorship.
Yes.
So that is, research really is a key piece. The other also very important piece that the Prouty supports is patient and family support services. And so, all of the items that aren't covered by insurance, but that make an impact on patients and their families when they're going through this cancer journey. And that includes support groups, yoga, massage, transportation assistance, grocery assistance, when patients really need it most, and ways in which, we can just help lighten the load a little bit as they're going through this challenging cancer journey. And that's all made possible through the Friends. And it is through the Friends of the Norris Cotton Cancer Center and the funds that are raised through the Prouty and through the community. And they stay right here in the community.
Now, in the last year with COVID and everything, there's been a lot of COVID research. And has there been any correlation with the research done with the coronavirus to how you can apply that to cancer that you've heard?
So some of our investigators helped with some of the COVID research right out of the gate. Early on, researchers at Dartmouth were really instrumental in helping with that. In terms of how COVID impacts cancer, that's a really great question, and one in which I'll need to enlist our support from our medical experts to really be able to speak to that. But I can speak to, even with our patient and family support services, we had to really pivot that program because we couldn't be in person.
Right.
And, I'm thrilled to share that we actually were able to maintain all of those programs and increase support. So last year we had 27,000 instances of patient family support services, which was an increase of about 1,000 from before COVID. And I think it speaks to, the need across the community, but also a shift in reaching patients in a virtual setting that's a bit more comfortable for them. instead of having to come into the cancer center, it makes it that much easier to jump on Zoom. And so, as challenging as COVID was across the board, a bit of a silver lining. We'll take it where we can. And I think as we move forward, those programs will continue to be a hybrid model, right? We'll have some in person, and then also continue to use technology and be able to reach more people and connect more people during their cancer journey.
Talking to Jaclynn Rodriguez, Executive Director for the Friends of Norris Cotton Cancer Center. The Prouty is happening, so the virtual Prouty is going on right now, and then the in-person's coming up in a couple weeks. How can people get involved? Like, what's the best way to do this if they're listening right now and think, I want to get involved finally?
Absolutely. Join us. We have spots for volunteering, participating, bike, row, bike, walk, and golf. You can row virtually. This year we weren't able to bring back our rowing component for the Prouty for our in-person, but the Prouty.org, and that's the PROUTY.org. Learn more. We'd love to have you join us and help us achieve our goal of raising $4 million for the 40th.
I know you couldn't do this without your sponsors, and there is a plethora of sponsors that you can mention, but who are any of the big ones that you'd like to get on to thank publicly?
Absolutely. We could not do what we do without our presenting sponsor, the Jack and Dorothy Byrne Foundation. So they have provided a generous match that is still available. It's actually going to be fulfilled in the next day or two. So if you are looking to join us and looking to have your support matched, get online today at theprouty.org to register. Our other top 4 sponsors, Conifer Health Solutions, BioXL, Hypertherm, Hope Foundation, and Immunext. We couldn't do it without, all of our sponsors. We have over 150 community partners that make the Prouty possible, and it wouldn't be possible without all of them. So just want to give a big shout out and thanks to everyone who helps support the Prouty and helps raise funds for the Cancer Center.
It's 40 years of support for this wonderful event. Jaclynn, anything else to get on that you'd like to mention?
I think we covered it. Thanks so much for having me this morning.
I certainly do appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck. Theprouty.org is the website people can log on. And so the match is good until when? Next day or so?
Next day or so.
Okay.
It's almost fulfilled.
Okay.
We've had it all year long. It's been incredibly successful and such a generous match from the Jack and Dorothy Byrne Foundation. But today or tomorrow, it's going to be coming to a close. So we'd love to have everyone register, join us, and make a gift and donate online.
All right. Theprouty.org. Jaclynn, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.